Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Haley Carbajal. She is a Starseed Coach and Mentor, and she is creator of 5 Steps to Alignment. Welcome to the show, Haley.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome to the show, Haley. You are welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. We'll be talking about how one can get aligned with their soul's mission and purpose. But before that, Haley, I want to understand or learn about your story itself, and that is where sometimes a lot of message is also hidden in that story. You talk about spiritual development, entrepreneurial success, but once upon a time, you were destroyed by the dream. That's the way you tell it, and then you rebuilt it after rejections, where there was the whole winning thing. So help us understand your story first, and then we'll learn from you how others can change their story.
Yes. Well, how others can change their story is by, changing the meaning, their perspective they're giving to what they're going through. In order for me to really make it happen, I had to learn how to do it the wrong way first, right? So a part of my most recent story in my entrepreneurial and coaching mentorship journey is I was rejected 208 times before I got my first yes. And that's over the course, like these were hour-long phone calls. So they weren't it's not like a 15-minute phone call, right? It was not an insignificant amount of time and effort and focus that this required. And so it was over the course of probably the first time until I got my first yes, it was probably over the course of like 8 to 9 months of a series of daily failures. And then I finally got my first yes. And then it was several months after that, probably 6 or 7 months, that I still went without any new clients, without any new people in my program or working with me. And it actually had nothing to do with what I could help them with. It was actually because of all of my financial limiting beliefs and what I was charging that was put under a microscope. And so because of that lack of congruency within, I had to overcome all of my limiting beliefs and do a lot of subconscious reprogramming. It became an obsession of mine, really. And because of that, now there's stability. Now I'm on the other side of it, which is great, but it was not fun or easy in the beginning. And that's why I do say that I was destroyed by the dream, but then I was rebuilt by it, because as you know, challenges in our life are actually in direct response to what we want, our soul's mission and purpose, right? So I said, creator, I'm raising my hand. I want to be a spiritual coach and mentor. And creator said, yes, absolutely, you can have that, but you need to learn how to overcome your own limiting beliefs. You need to learn how to condition and reprogram your mind. You need to learn how to manifest. You need to learn how to communicate effortlessly with the universe. And so what does that mean? Knowing how to communicate incorrectly with the universe, being so in your face with your limiting beliefs, right? So, I was destroyed by the dream so that the old versions of me that were no longer congruent or not in alignment with where I was going could be stripped and shedded away, essentially, so that I could, the phoenix rising from the ashes, so that it could be rebirthed and be an authentic leader to those who I am working with.
Right, Haley. I'm impressed by the way you have you see things in the right perspective, but not everyone is able to look at it when times are not so good. How did you look at it when there were so many rejections, one win, and again there was a drought for clients? So how did you look at the right side of it? Were there moments where you felt not so good? How did you keep up the hope? How did you know that this was part of mission, your sole purpose, and that you were not on the wrong path, and that mission? How do you keep on getting those messages when it's a bit dark out there? Help us understand so that people actually do not get lost. They know that they are on the right path or the wrong path early on.
Well, I think that as long as you're pursuing your higher passions and you're following the dream that creator has put on your heart, you're never on the wrong path, no matter the obstacles that you're seeing. Like I said, I didn't in that drought or in that dark time in my life, I didn't always see it positively. Right. And so there really is this balance, and it really goes down to the nuance of emotional intelligence and discernment. Right. So is this a time for me to feel the anger, feel the frustration? Is this a time for me to feel a little bit of the sorrow, but with the sole purpose of releasing it, healing it, not basking in it, bathing in it, and then allowing it to become who you are or your characteristic or your personality, right? Because with every level of density or obstacles that we face, it is a gift of the opportunity for healing, transmutation, transcendence, alchemy, right? So the way that you know that you're following your path is in the obstacles and challenges that test you, who you are, what you want, making sure that you are who you say that you are to the universe, and that you are doing what you say that you want for the universe, right? The whole concept of pay the price for your dream. But ultimately, I believe that the vision that you have in your heart and in your mind, that you are seeing the finish line, and it is your responsibility. Creator's already showing you what's possible. Otherwise, you would not be seeing it. We cannot conceive anything that's outside of our consciousness, right? So if you can see that finish line, even if it feels faint, that is possible for you to get there. But the person that you are now and the person that's at the finish line is a completely different version of you. So as you're walking the path, as you're following the how, and that gets revealed step by step, not in holes or chunks, right? But as you're walking that path, those challenges or obstacles are a part of the shedding process and the upgrading process to get you to where you want to go. And so, especially in entrepreneurship, you have to know when to pivot, when to stay. Is it a path that's worth pursuing and continuing, or is it time where it is time to make a different decision and pivot? And really that boils down to listening to your inner voice and having that discernment. I really feel like having discernment is a absolute critical life skill to have in order to find that, not only just in business or following your, higher soul's mission, purpose, and calling, but also in doing the inner work. It requires discernment, when to feel, when to reprogram, when to integrate, when to let it go. Discernment is a very critical key in all of this.
Absolutely. Now, you are a Starseed coach. What does Starseed actually mean?
Yeah, so I'm going to go very woo-woo on you. Okay, way out there. Okay, just letting you know. So a starseed the concept is that you are a higher vibrational, multidimensional being that is usually associated with an extraterrestrial origin here in a human body, and you are here to raise the vibration of the human consciousness. So a higher multidimensional being comes in, projects their consciousness into a human body, and then with that knowledge, intelligence, and frequency, we collectively help the collective of humanity heal, raise the frequency, raise the vibration, so that we can all ascend up together. That's a starseed.
Right. So if this star seed, they are so special, why do they take so much of difficulty in connecting with the highest source of life, light and consciousness? They should have, it's like the Wi-Fi connection, they should be immediately connected. Why do they face so many difficulties and challenges if they are so special? And especially then they have to work towards finding their mission and purpose.
Because of the veil. Because of the veil, when we come in, it's like a mind swiping, or just because we're star seeds, it doesn't mean that we're impervious to the way that this reality and this density feels, right? We come in with, because not only are we here to help, but we're also here to grow ourselves. And that means the density, the obstacles, the challenges, the traumatic childhood or the traumatic adulthood. It's not a one thing, it's multifaceted, right? We're also here to grow, expand, master energy, master ourselves, and help the collective. And actually, I believe that star seeds are actually meant to face the darkness, because in facing the darkness, we can bring it to the light, because the darkness doesn't necessarily, the darkness will just consume itself, right? The darkness isn't aware that it's dark necessarily until the light is shined on it. And so that's a part of the whole alchemy thing, right? We're here to be alchemists and transmute the dark, but in order to transmute the dark, that means we have to face it. So not only that, but there's a lot of generational healing that's going on, ancestral healing. There's a lot of DNA healing and all of that stuff. Again, it's so multifaceted. But we're not impervious to the veil. But then when we do wake up, we do have the opportunity to let everything go. Just let it all go. Don't make the internal world or even life so personal. I really truly believe in being the observer that is observing you, or even the consciousness that is observing the observer that is you, just to take it even a step back even further.
Absolutely. Now, how does then one get aligned with their soul's mission and purpose? You are the creator of 5 steps to alignment. Help us understand how do they do that. How does these steps help? And if they are so strong beings, what is soul's mission? And many a times, why do we get lost? Because we move on to some another mission and we lose all the way, and then we start thinking about the soul. So how can my mission and my soul's mission be the same? How early they should meet? Should I need to go through all the difficulties, then I find my purpose, or it can happen early on? Help us understand with the backdrop of your 5 steps to alignment.
Mm-hmm. Well, the soul's mission and purpose is actually a walk of honestly pure faith. It's honestly just pure faith, placing the bets on yourself and your connection to, higher source, creation, and then just following through, right? It's pure faith, pure faith. And the reason why we default from it is because it's so scary, because there's a lot of unknowns. And we've also been programmed to, go to school, go to college, get a job, retire. And so because that's the system that we're used to, and all of the people that we interact with believe in that system, it's hard to break free, especially when you're the only one. So I'd love to share my 5 steps with your audience. So the first step is taking extreme ownership for your energy and your frequency. And the reason why that is important is because acceptance is the foundation to all healing. Until you can accept everything you are and everything you are not, you cannot move forward in your journey. The more you blame, the more you point the finger, the more you say they triggered me, it's their fault. They didn't trigger you. It's not their fault. There's something that their behavior or thought process or whatever did that triggered you, right? And actually those triggers, as you know, are actually a gift, because they show you where you are not completely spiritually sovereign, right? So if you look at it through the lens of extreme ownership, that it has nothing to do with the other person, it has everything to do with me. What is this showing me about myself? Then you actually hold all of the power and freedom, emotional freedom, mental freedom, right? So that's why I say, the spiritual journey begins and ends with you, because it begins here always. You're broadcasting something, it circles back, feeds back to you, and you see it here, right? So you must take extreme ownership that no one can make you feel or do anything. It is only you that allows the stimulus, the external stimulus, to trigger you or not. The second one is doing inner work with intent and compassion. So a lot of the times when we do the inner work, we can be very hard on ourselves, very negative. We self-blame, we self-shame. And that's not going to get us anywhere. That's like you have a really nice car, but you're poking holes in the gas tank. It's not going to help, right? So my definition of intent is precision with focus and belief, because you must be very precise and very specific about what inner work is required to be done in order for you to transcend it. And then while you're doing that, you must have compassion for yourself. Again, it's taking the internal world not so personally. If it's not yours, usually it's not even yours. It came from your parents, it came from society, it came from any type of external stimulus. So if it's not even yours, why do you even care? Just, let it go. Don't take it so personal, right? So doing the inner work with intent and compassion. The third one is what I call a direct line to the divine. This one I'm very serious about, because even though it's fun to think about starseeds and ETs and other multidimensional beings and angels and things like that, I always want to get my information from the purest source of light and consciousness, the place where our consciousness was birthed, the place where the universe's consciousness was birthed, right? I want purity. I don't want BS information. I want the truth, and that is it, right? And so having a direct line to the divine, your own direct line to the divine, not only does it give you that discernment we were talking about, but it's where that is where your inner voice, you can actually really hear, feel, sense your inner voice. You can trust it. Also, it allows for this understanding of the bigger picture, and you don't feel so alone on your journey. Having that direct line to the divine is absolutely essential for a more peaceful way of being in life and being able to navigate it even intelligently, right? The fourth one is purpose. We must have a reason to get up in the morning, but it's got to be a purpose that is bigger than ourselves. Don't get me wrong. We all want that financial freedom. We all want the certain lifestyle that we see in our heads. And I always say this, and I want the audience to take them with this with them today. So while the purpose, the soul's mission, is to be done through you and it is to be done by you, it is not about you. It's not about your narrative. It's not about your stories. It's not even about your talents and your gifts and how amazing you are or amazing you are at your craft. It is about the lives that you save. It's about the lives that you impact, the people that you inspire in the pursuit or following the path of your soul's mission and purpose. So it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the people that you get to help. And we must have a strong pull, a strong reason, a higher meaning to life, that even in the face of 208 rejections, there's still a calling to get up and try again. And then the last one is having a mentor. Now, I know this might sound self-serving. It's absolutely not meant to. I fully believe. I don't care if they reach out to me or if they reach out to somebody else that they trust. In fact, I would recommend them reaching out to somebody that they resonate with and trust, that is where they want to be in their spiritual journey, in their business, in their healing work, whatever it is for them, right? A mentor not only has context for what you're going through, because they walked that path themselves, so they know intimately what you're going through, but literally a mentor is handing you a baton. The reason why we don't have to reinvent the wheel is because the wheel is already invented. We don't have to start from scratch in building a car engine because we already have previous history to show how it works. So now it's just meant for optimization. That is what a mentor can do. A mentor can say, here's all of the knowledge and wisdom and intelligence that I've cultivated throughout my lifetime and my experience. And I'm going to just hand you the map and you take it and you run, which eliminates a lot of the suffering, which eliminates a lot of the confusion. And then you have effective tools in your arsenal to actually help you. So I would recommend a mentor for absolutely everybody. I have them myself, right? So just a quick recap: extreme ownership for your frequency and your energy, doing the inner work with intent and compassion, having a direct line to the divine, having a higher calling or purpose, and then having a mentor to help you out.
Right, Haley. Well explained. Now, in terms of dreams, when you are moving towards your dreams, you think you are moving towards, alignment with your soul's mission, but you are not able to see what is happening. Now, how do you know you are on the right path? It can be confusing sometimes. It is like, moving around in the desert, or you have lost your way in some jungle.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I think sometimes the path is unclear. And here's what actually I have found to be true. If you're in the pursuit of what you want, and maybe like if you're pursuing what you want, you're always in alignment, you're always in the right path. Even when things feel dense, even with self-doubt, even with low confidence, even with fear, or even with frustration and anger, that doesn't mean you're out of alignment. In fact, it means you're exactly in alignment because you're overcoming yourself in order to get what you want, right? When the path is unclear, because the whole spiritual journey, we're all paving our own paths uniquely, always. Not one spiritual journey is the same as the other. There might be coincidences, but it's completely unknown. And it's for us to carve, it's for us to pave, right? So I believe, and actually this was just a cycle that closed out for me, so this is very relevant to my life now, right? When the path moving forward is unclear, it means that it's time for you to rest, reassess, and reflect, right? Because it's only in a scarcity mindset where we're like, we have to pursue, we have to pursue, we have to pursue. I know, because I've been there. I have to pursue, I have to pursue, I have to do this daily, I have to do this daily. Don't get me wrong, it is a daily practice and you do require consistency, but that is in your habits and your methods and your morning routine and your nighttime routine, right? But ultimately, if you find that you're at a pause or even a halt in your life, that means you're about to climb a new mountain. So you've reached a certain level of expertise, mastery, understanding, connectedness in what you're doing. And so it's time to reassess what worked, what didn't, what do you want to leave behind, and what do you want to take with you? Because you're about to make another climb up the mountain. So if the path is unclear, it means you're not meant to move forward yet. Otherwise, you would have that information. It's always provided. You're just not meant to move forward right now, and things are meant to ferment. It's time for inner reflection. It's time for that deep introspection and find out, what is it that you really want? What is it that you really want to contribute and bring to the world? What is it that actually brings you joy and happiness and sparks that fire and that passion within you? And how can you intelligently and creatively bring that forward in your soul's mission and purpose?
Absolutely. Now, as a starseed coach, what is it that these starseed they come to you? What is it that they ask for from you? Want to achieve? What are the questions they ask? How do you answer them and help them achieve what they want? Or is it that you tell them that this is their life's mission? How does it work?
I never tell anybody anything. I never tell anybody anything because it is meant for them to discover themselves. I provide the space for them to just have that level of self-discovery, because sometimes we don't even feel safe in that self-discovery. It can be haunting, right? So I don't think we need to overthink the soul's mission and purpose. It is what you are naturally good at, naturally, that you don't actually really value because you're just naturally good at it, right? You don't necessarily value it because it comes to you effortlessly. But what are you naturally good at? And like characteristics, traits, maybe it's a communicator, maybe it's an inspirational leader, maybe it is asking questions, being an amazing host, right? Or, and in that, what is going to make you what's going to bring you the most joy in the execution? Is it doing lives, or is it doing it pre-recorded? Is it, doing it outside or inside? So I ask questions to stimulate thought, to help them connect those dots. But usually when starseeds come to me, they want to know what kind of starseed they are. They want to know what their planetary origins are. They struggle with empathy, being an empath, taking on other people's feelings, absorbing energy. They struggle with meditation. They struggle with communication in their relationships, and they are concerned about hurting other people rather than speaking their truth intelligently. And they don't know what their purpose is, but they know that they're not meant for the 9 to 5, you know? So, and it's really so much more than that. Like, it's about owning your divinity. It's about owning the authenticity and the natural greatness that you are, right? Because we're all divinely handcrafted, even if we don't feel like it. Okay. I know I don't always feel like it. I know I don't. But all of our flaws and all of our strengths are uniquely handcrafted for our higher calling, you know?
Right, right, Haley. There is much to learn from you, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to learn more from you, about you, how they can, get your coaching, get your mentorship. So, what's the best way for them to do so, Haley?
Well, I have a $7 offering. So I have a $7 monthly offering, just so that you can get a taste of what I do. And if you actually do like my work, if you really do resonate with me. So if you go to my website, 5stepstoalignment.com, and that's spelled out 5stepstoalignment.com, you'll see I have a Patreon. Now, for $7.77 a month, you get a 90-minute workshop. It's a group, it's a collective. So you're also in a group of people, with a group of people who are speaking the same conversation as you, who want the same things as you. And it's also that it gives the opportunity for vibration assimilation, right? So you're going with the baseline vibration, you're upgrading with it. But you get a 90-minute live workshop. You get a 25-minute live energy healing, because energy healing is in my background. And you also get a 90-minute live Q&A with me. And that's your opportunity to really get that specific help that you need. Now, if you liked what I do in Patreon, we can talk about having a more one-to-one relationship, because I have like a Starseed full out program, 10-week overhaul program. But I would recommend everybody joining Patreon first to make sure that I resonate with you.
Absolutely, absolutely, Haley. Now, my last question to you is that you help people achieve what they are meant for. What about you? What is your soul's mission and purpose? What is it that you seek for yourself now?
My soul's mission and purpose is to not only awaken the greatness that's within you until you can see it, feel it, sense it, and own it yourself. But my mission is to facilitate you in, as cliche and cheesy as it might sound, but living your dream. Because, and it's more than just living the dream. It's more than just living the lifestyle. It's more than just having the bank account. It's way deeper than that. It's about that sense of fulfillment, satisfaction, and accomplishment. It is about that purity of life and being in flow and feeling like you are co-creating with the universe instead of in resistance with it. I am here to help facilitate in your ability to discern and have that emotional intelligence. I am here to help you build that unshakable confidence. And then when density comes up, like fear, anger, resentment, self-doubt, I want to help you with the higher knowing and intelligence of those emotions so that they don't block you, so that you can actually use them and leverage them for advancement in your life. That's what I'm really passionate about.
Wonderful. On this note, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.